Hey everyone, Nat Daddy here, and we got a big book week. Let's jump right into it. We got 26 books here, so we're just going to be going fast today. So, first on our list, we got Absolute Batman number 10. This is Bruce Wayne, Batman, has been captured by Bane and has been taken prisoner inside Arkham, that giant jail slash research place. And he's been locked up in there for months now, and multiple times he's tried to break out and get caught and beat down, and horrible injuries and that from the beating from Bane. We see him as he's in there. The few times that he does try to escape, that he does encounter different experiments or people that are in there. So we are exposed to new people like Poison Ivy and Killer Croc as well in here. And I must say, much like Bane and Batman himself in this series, they are twisted versions of the originals in that. Killer Croc, as you see here, looks like this, almost like a dinosaur lizard type of character. Barely human anymore in that. So, yeah, Absolute Batman's been great, and this book is chugging along. Absolute Flash number 5. So we're only 5 issues of Flash, and it's been all right so far too. Pretty different compared to original Flash. Wally West trapped in an accident as a kid in that. He's been dealing with his powers. It's been being chased by the rogues and that who work for the government and the army and that, and he's come across Heatwave here. And much like the Arkham stuff, all of these people are medical experiments and military experiences. So he's dealing with that. He's still trying to deal with the Grodd there, who is like this little monkey with powers compared to the big, powerful, telekinetic gorilla that we usually see. But it's all right. Of all the Absolute books, I think this is the weakest of them so far. And that's not saying it's bad or anything. It's just not as good as the Absolute titles, the other ones. A book I don't normally read. We've covered a few issues of this lately just because they had that big Justice League crossover in it. But I wanted to read this. I believe it's 2 or 3 parts, and it's a Bizarro story. I love Bizarro. Growing up as a kid, I always thought Bizarro was so cool, being the opposite of Superman. And that's what we have here. We have a story where Superman and Batman and Robin, it's Dick Grayson, so this takes place in the old times. They get whisked over to Bizarro World, and it's the first encounter of Robin with a lot of these Bizarros and that. So a lot of fun here. If you're a fan of kind of old-fashioned world's finest team-ups with Batman and Robin and Superman, this is definitely great for you. Especially if you like anything Bizarro-like. So pretty fun there. Another Batman title, and I do like this title. It's Batman and Robin Year One. It's just that unfortunately there are 2 Batman and Robin titles going on at the same time, so it gets a little confusing. There's also this Batman and Robin Jason Todd, and also Batman and Robin, there's the regular series as well, so a little confusing on them, but I do enjoy this series. It is the first year of Batman and Robin, so again, Dick Grayson, they're still learning to live together. He's still kind of being newly adopted, and also still taking part in the Robin training in that. So we've seen a story against the gangsters invading Gotham, and Robin and them are lashing out to deal with it, because he's still just a young kid in that, and at the same time a lot of people are desperately trying to figure out their identities. So it's good. I like it. If you're a fan of old Batman and Robin stuff, especially when Robin's just kind of starting off, hence the Year One, this is great. Something new that we covered last month. This is from Oni Press. This book is called Benjamin. It's kind of neat. It's a little weird. It's about a guy who wakes up and he's a science fiction writer, but he's been gone and dead for many, many years, and now he's back. And it turns out he's kind of a robot that somebody has put his life essence into. And now him and this other fella or trying to figure out why and who has done it and that. So it's really weird. It almost has like a Fear and Loathsome kind of feel into it. Um, I do enjoy it. It's a little weird, but a little confusing. So um, yeah, maybe I'm not understanding it completely just because it is so weird and kind of trippy and psychedelic, but it is kind of cool. So if you want to see something kind of weird, kind of deep, a little bit sci-fi, this is a neat book. Another one of these one-shots from the Bring on the Bad Guys. This is the Abomination one. We've had the Green Goblin and Doctor Doom one. It's about Mephisto trying to power this artifact called the Soul Forge. If he's able to power this Soul Forge with several different souls, he will be able to control all the souls on the planet. So he has a new person that he's kind of taken as his underling, I guess, named Sister Sorrow. We've been introduced to her in the other issues. And we see in this issue it's the Abomination who is tasked to collect the soul for this machine. So, pretty neat story. A lot of gross body horror in here, and just a cool action story with Abomination. Issue 2 of this Death of the Silver Surfer book. Really like that cover there. Pretty neat book in here. It fits all your usual kind of deep space cosmic stuff going on with the surfer. We see this space fleet's obviously run by a corporation, and they've come across this thing floating in the sky, which turns out to be the dead body of Galactus, and they're going inside this Galactus's body. Looks like to, maybe mine it or something like that. And then we see the Silver Surfer on Earth just dealing how he usually deals. He's trying to be friendly, helping out people, and of course, because he's different, gets accused of being a monster and all that. So same old Silver Surfer lifestyle. Yeah. Scars in here as well. And it's basically about this, like I said, this corporation that is trying to, mine or take over the body of Galactus out there, and it's obviously affecting Surfer as well too. So, pretty neat book. Still a lot of unanswered questions and that going on, but I've enjoyed it as well. One book I was really looking forward to. It's from Image here. It's a pretty thick one as well too. This is Dread the Halls. Great Maria Wolf cover there, and it is a horror anthology that is kind of themed about Comic Cons and that. So this is really fun, especially if you're into cliche Comic Con people. You get this one story that runs throughout here about this guy that takes forever trying to ask a question at a panel, and then another story here about this couple that are trying to get into anything, but the lineups are always too huge and sold out and that. So they end up going into this one place that doesn't have a lineup, and it's a otherly dimensional haunted house for real. So that's kind of fun as well too. This one here is a story about two people that again break into the Comic Con because they can't get tickets, and that they sneak into the sewers and pretend that they're servers there and start to going to meet some of the panel members and that, and end up having not good results from that. So that's a fun one there. One book that we've been following on here, which I'm always amazed when I do read it that I do like it because I'm not a huge fan of this character, is Eddie Brock Carnage. 6 issues in and I'm still liking it. Eddie Brock is now in control or partnered up with the Carnage symbiote, and even though they both hate each other and want to kill each other, they have to coexist together just to survive. So yeah, it's been a good series so far. Muse has shown up in the last few issues, and they Carnage and Eddie actually stopped Muse before, and now Muse is trying to track down who it was that did all that. And at the same time, Carnage and Eddie are on the run from kind of like this shield agency that are trace abnormal stuff in that. So lots of fun here. So again, more body horror and murder in that as well too, because it's basically a serial killer trying to be controlled, and now that he's falling asleep in that, he's losing his ability to control it. So it's been good, but it's starting to get a little tiresome. Book 4 of Mad Caves Far Down Below. This is a book. It's kind of neat. It's about these two young kids that have fallen through the floor of the abandoned kind of haunted house that's on one of their homes. And it was the old family home. And once they fell through there was a whole underground cavern system there where they end up finding monsters and dinosaurs and now some Russian soldiers, and also one of the boys' grandfather, who they thought has been dead for 20 years. So they're dealing with this magical kingdom that is all underneath their house that is has burned down, and the family thinks that the kids are trapped inside this burning house as well. So this is a neat book. One of my favorites is the G.I. Joe from Image. This is the Energon Universe one, not the Real American Hero one. This is the one that takes place with the Transformers. Last issue, we saw the Baroness and CoverGirl kind of out on vacation, taking a break from the team, and they have been attacked by Raptor. So a little bit of an origin story on Raptor here. And these two are, I think they're in Paris, and they are dealing with Raptor and a few of other Cobra baddies like Major Blood as well too. So they end up getting captured, and more going on with Clutch and his relationship with Brawn. Nobody knows that he's around. So I really like how they're weaving the Transformers and G.I. Joe stuff together. Another one from Image, we got the first issue of a new book called Ghost Pepper. Kind of fun book here. Has a little bit of that anime feel to it. It's about a world in the future and that, and it's obviously been destroyed. We kind of live in like this post-apocalyptic world, and they have this creature called the Cinder that seems to be like this giant that one time was probably walking the world and destroying everything. Apparently was sent away and has been captured on the moon. In the meantime, people live in these cities and that, and we have this one focus of the story, this food truck owner. She feeds people, travels from place to place, and while she's at one place, a stranger is eating there, and he ends up being wanting to be picked up by the government's SWAT team that travels around and kind of takes care of everything, kind of like the Skynet robots and Terminator and that. So he's hunter-gatherers, so he's obviously more than human. He takes these things out very fast and easy, and he's some kind of mysterious stranger with some kind of background. Maybe he's a god or something like that. So more to find out about him. Lots of action, and like I said, just has that kind of anime feel to it. So pretty good book so far. Ghost Pepper. Lots of these going on lately. Godzilla books. This is Godzilla Destroys the Marvel Universe. This doesn't really tie into any of the other Godzilla Marvel stuff that's been going on lately. Just another one shot of its own. And here we have the Mole Man trying to do something underneath in his Subterra world, and it ends up waking up Godzilla, and he comes to the surface wreaking havoc on everybody. The waking of Godzilla and that there too also woke a Celestial, so we have that going on as well too. So lots of fun here, lots of crazy action in that as well too, and we see the Fantastic Four start off fighting Godzilla, and then we have a few other Marvel heroes enter as well too. So, like I said, if you've been enjoying the Marvel Godzilla stuff lately, you will continue enjoying this one as well. Another great book from Image we have I Was a Fashion School Serial Killer. We have a young woman who's gotten into a prestigious design school, and she's a bit of a loner and a bit of a different person in that, and she doesn't make friends very easily, and she started to do that there, all the while at the same time she's actually a serial killer as well, and uses the victims as parts of her designs in that. So she manages to fight the urges most of the time, but sometimes it just gets to her the more and more anxious she gets. And she only kills people who she sees as doing bad things in that. So kind of like a Dexter type of thing. So really liking this story so far. And she also bathes in the blood too, because it helps with her like scratches. She gets itchy when she gets tensed out and stuff like that. So she's obviously crazy in that, but at the same time she does kind of have some good intentions as she's struggling to survive being a young woman going through fashion school. We have book 2 of Krypto, the Last Dog of Superman. Lots of Superman stuff going on because of the movie. Hope everyone has gone and seen it, enjoyed it. Krypto was definitely one of the best parts of that movie. And in here we see that at the end of the last issue, he has been found by a young Lex Luthor, and Lex Luthor is taking care of him at his house and that, but he's very, very abusive and mean to him. He's just a horrible, mean person, as we know how Lex is in that. So we find out that Lex is trying to make a bomb to burn down his house so he can get the money to continue on with his experiments, and doesn't even care if his parents there, who seem to be adoptive or whatever, don't care if they get killed either, except that he has no kind of conscience. He's just kind of evil. So Krypto ends up kind of saving everybody a little bit, and they end up doing their different ways. So this is kind of like a Krypto Year 1 story of when he first gets to Earth, and this is a very sad issue because of the way that Lex treats Krypto. So issue 3 of Dark Horse's Le Monstros. It's been a very fun book here. Le Monstros is kind of like a section of Los Angeles where monsters and that all live. So you got your Frankenstein people and your werewolves and your sea monsters and all that. And they just live normal lives, but there's monsters. The main character here is a werewolf PI, and he's obviously investigating a case right now. So pretty fun. I enjoy this book a lot. It very much your crime noir type of thing there, and it's cool having these monster background in. So kind of neat. New issue of the New Champions. This is a team book from Marvel, one of those young team books, and I've always said in the past I never liked that stuff, but it seems like nowadays I like all these new young team books and that. So they introduce a new character in this book called Night Drifter. He's kind of like Blade. He's half vampire in that. So they have all gone back to that Helrune place in Scandinavia, trying to find their friend there, and she's almost been kidnapped now by her aunt there and taken to what do they call it here? Like a magical market, like they have in Hogwarts there. So they meet this character there. They call him Night Drifter, and he, like I said, is this kind of somewhat vampire character. So this team of young champions is going around exploring the market, and they get themselves into a little bit of trouble. So it's fun. I enjoyed it. And at the end, they get a clue to help continue on in their journey to find their missing friend. Another book that's been getting tons of crossovers is Predator. This is Predator versus Spider-Man, issue 4. It's the last issue of this series, and then it goes right into Predator kills the Marvel Universe, so much like the Godzilla one. This has been a lot of great fun book. Pretty violent book for a Spider-Man one as well. But we have the Predators who are tracing down a Predator who's kind of goes rogue here. He's a little crazy. His name is Skinner, and he wears the skin masks of his victims on his face. Yeah, and he's just kind of gone rogue and he kills unnecessarily. So there are a team of regular Predators out there looking for him. And at the same time, we also have Craven out there because he's the ultimate hunter trying to get a part of this game as well too. Spider-Man himself is dealing with the 3 or 4 who have landed looking for him. I mean, he's fighting with them. Well, Craven himself is fighting this rogue Skinner one, so has a horrible bloody battle with him and actually does end up taking him out. But in doing so, activates that bomb that's always on their wrists and that. So we see Spidey and Craven and the other Predators dealing with that bomb at the end there. And like I said, at the end, it leads right into what's going to be the Predator kills the Marvel Universe. So those have all been really fun. From Dynamite, we have a new series called Red Sonja Noir. This is kind of a combination of the Red Sonja stuff and detective noir kind of stories. And that's what this is here. We have Red Sonja, and she has a partner here who's an archer, and they kind of are a team for hire, per se. And she gets wrapped up in a mystery with this woman where her partner gets killed while working for them, and she doesn't know what's going on or who to trust. So pretty fun here, but like it says, it does have that that crime noir feel to it. So yeah, it's neat to see that a little bit in a Red Sonja story. Otherwise, very enjoyable to read all the way around, and of course a little bit of hot girl on girl action on here too, which I'm surprised because I've never really seen Red Sonja interact with anybody really. So issue 13 of Redcoat. This is that all part of that Ghost Machine universe with Geiger and the Robot Joe character and the 2 kid characters, the Fallout family. Simon Pure is Redcoat. He is a guy from the Civil War era, and he has been blessed with the immortality, but he didn't really want it type of thing. He's kind of a douchebag, does things for himself and for money and that. He's not really a hero per se, but he always ends up in these situations where a hero is needed, and he ends up usually most of the time doing the right thing. Right now he's traveling with this character called the Northerner, who seems to be a person who's traveling through time to help stop this other person who's traveling through time with modern weapons to help the South win the Civil War. So I enjoy this series a lot. But like I said, here we start seeing how these things are all going to connect together, because all these characters I did mention there before, all these different books in this universe are all at different times and eras and space in that. So we see here at the end that this Northerner character has been transferred again through time, and he ends up here in the time of Geiger. So this is getting pretty fun. This is that other Batman and Robin title that's out this week. This is Batman and Robin, Jason Todd. This is the telling of when Jason Todd was first becoming a Robin. Great story so far as well too, written by Jeff Lemire, who I'm luckily able to get to meet this September. He's coming to town here. Great artwork in here by Nuggin. It's just that because there's like 3, sometimes 4 Batman and Robin titles going on every month, that they kind of get lost. They're kind of mixed in together. But this is a neat one here. Again, this is a similar year one story with Jason Todd learning how to become Robin. And he's much harder of a character of Robin compared to the others because he is, hot headed and violent. And he has come across with Batman this character called the Wrath, who is a vigilante who doesn't seem to want to pull any punches and doesn't mind killing in that. So he's trying to, um, you know, get Robin, get Jason Todd to work with him and leave Batman. So I love the artwork in here, the painted watercolor stuff. And Jason Todd's always a good character because we know eventually he does fail at being Robin, dying, coming back as Red Hood and that. So, like I mentioned earlier, another one of these young person, young titan, young hero comics that I didn't expect to like, and I am. We have Spider Girl, spin off of Spider Boy. This is Maka. She is I guess she's a mutant, and she's a young kid that she's like Taskmaster. If she makes eye contact with you, she can read your memories a little bit, but definitely she can copy your powers in that. So she has long-term copied Spider Boy's powers, and at the same time, she's the former uh, assassin apprentice of Bullseye. So lots in this character, and much like Spider Boy, she's just having fun, trying to live life, and get sucked into these situations. So in here, she has an encounter with Lady Bullseye, and again, they both have that connection to Bullseye himself in that. So this is a lot of fun. I don't know why all of a sudden in the last year or so I've started liking all these young hero character books, but this is another one that I am. Issue 3 of Superman Unlimited. Again, with all the Superman movie stuff going on, they have to have all these comics every week to get people to buy. Here, this is the series where Superman was out of commission for a couple months after tackling a giant kryptonite asteroid falling to Earth. And during that time, while he was in coma for those 3 months, the exploded kryptonite has showered all over the Earth, and now it is a mineral that people use on Earth in that, and is a commodity. And all the super people, all the super family have had to learn to deal with that because now it is readily available and has bad consequences, of course, with them. So lots of fun here. We have the Toy Man in here. He has of course, a giant toy that attacks somebody in that, and we learn that it has a kryptonite generator in there. And of course, there was a misunderstanding, and this generator is going to be used to power all parts of the world. So it's a good thing. It's just that the super family have to learn how to try to deal with this. So it's been good. I enjoyed it. Issue 10 of the new Turtle series here. Jason Aaron and Juan Ferreira with the art have been doing great. Lots of bloody action scenes in this one. The Turtles have been captured and framed for a murder. Obviously, they didn't do it. It's by this crooked city DA guy named Hale. Has connections to, obviously, evil. And it seems like the brothers have maybe kind of finally worked out their differences after being separated and gone all their own ways after the last little while. So lots of fun going on here. Turtles are in the courtroom trying to defend themselves. Obviously doesn't go well in that, and they get sentenced to go to jail. And at the same time, we see what we think is Casey Jones showing up at the end to maybe break them out, and it's actually April. So see where it goes from there. Issue 2 of They Chose Violence. This is that series about the 3 women who all went to school together and became professionals. And on the side, they were fed up with the way that the world has become and went around and were knocking off horrible people and that. So after a little while, they almost get caught, so they stop for a little bit, go back to their regular lives, and they just can't cut it. It's just not good, perfect anymore. They feel kind of zombies. They just feel like there's not enough going on in their lives. So after a little while, they end up getting back together for what they think is a girls' night out for a birthday party, and it's actually the start of one of their torture missions again. So they torture this one guy, I believe he's a crooked judge, and then they go from there, planning their next crime and mission and that. So this is really fun. Doesn't pull any punches. And lastly, we have the next issue of Thundercats. I've loved this series so far and its spin-off. Here we see the introductions, the Knights of Thundera, which is actually just the Thundercats who have made these new suits of armor out of a new element that they found called, I think it's called Thunderium or something like that. So Lionel's still missing after his encounter with Mumra, and it seems like Jotaro has kind of assumed lead of the team in that. They have met the Burbles, and they built that new fortress of theirs, and it seems like the mutants are going to try to attack this fortress once again. So really liking all this, and at the end, Panthro shows up with who they think was the missing Lino, but it's not. It's the character Bengali. So all right, that's what I read this week. There was a lot of books that came out this week. Hope you got your fair share and the ones that you wanted. Otherwise, we'll see you back here next week for more reviews. Like, share, and subscribe. Peace out.